you have several options, and you chose the guy that didn't coach ever.
All I hope is JJ doesn't get fired in two to 3 years.
Breaking news. This is hot off the Woj presses. I think Shams is even scared to tweet about it. Haven't all day, you loser. ESPN sources say jumping Jehoshaphat Redick. What does JJ stand for? I'm not calling him JJ anymore. Jonathan Clay Redick has agreed on a 4-year contract to become the next head coach of the Los Angeles Lakers. Round of applause, Vsauce. Round of applause.
Closure.
Rob Pelinka offered a job this morning, and Redick started working on staff to surround himself with experience. Now, fan reaction from this has been through the roof. I mean, people are elated about this. I don't know if y'all know that. People are excited about this whole situation.
They don't have expirings that we have. And the Sixers don't, I mean, oh my God! JJ Redick! Ah! He's the Lakers coach! JJ Redick, the Lakers coach! Oh my God! 4-year deal! Oh my God! Yo! Are you fucking serious? They don't have expirings that we have.
DiVincenzo was still better to chat. If you know ball, man, it's cool, man. We got DiVincenzo! Oh!
I made me laugh. I needed that because
Sage, just the writing was on the wall, but what's your initial reactions? And the reason why I asked that is because other breaking news from the coaching perspective.
Please,
Monty Williams was just fired.
Did you hear about the assistants for the Lakers? They said Rondo, Sam Cassell, Scott Brooks.
So let us know, Sage. How do you feel about the decision that your team has made?
From Rondo to JJ Redick, let me be clear. I'm not saying Rondo nor JJ Redick are bad basketball minds. From what I've heard Damo say on past podcasts, if Damo was here, it would seem like me and him disagree. I don't really disagree with him. He's just more optimistic than I am because I think JJ Redick is actually a brilliant basketball mind. So do I think he's going to be ass? I don't know, but hope not. I think he's going to be better than him. My issue, and I do have an issue with it, is one of at least 3 things. One, why the fuck didn't we just wait or get somebody who is well qualified? Monty got fired yesterday. Get Monty Williams. JB Bickerstaff. I've been heavy on getting JB Bickerstaff there. You have assistant coaches, whether it's the Miami one, I think the Boston one got hired, fair enough. Denver's. You have several options, and you chose the guy that didn't coach ever, or since like middle school or high school. That's such a but and then this goes to 2. They all tie together. It's such a Laker thing to do. It's such a Laker thing to do. Hey, this podcaster and LeBron's teammate, we're gonna bring them both on the staff. Like this is such a LeBron James in LA move, and it's so annoying because even if JJ ends up being a good coach, Rondo ends up being a good coach, it just tells me that this franchise still is stuck in their own deluded ways of we're the Lakers and we're gonna do things the Laker way. You're gonna do things the hype beastie way. Like nobody should be screaming, oh, JJ Redick. That's not supposed to be a thing when you hire a coach, bro. Like it's not supposed to be a thing. And that's what it is. And then 3, it seems like we're not all in. Because if we were all in, we would be looking for like a championship established coach. So it seems like we're preparing to start the rebuild or half-assing it. And the reason why I said or half-assing is because we still have LeBron. So you don't really rebuild while LeBron's on the roster. So it's so fucking annoying, bro. I'm annoyed. JJ could be a good coach, but I'm annoyed right now, bro.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna maintain my take I've had this whole time about JJ in terms of I don't doubt his basketball mind. I actually do think he has the chops to become an assistant coach in the league at the very least. Because I was actually watching his interview with Joe Mazzulla, like at the beginning of the season, and Joe literally said like they were like one situation away from JJ being an assistant coach on the Celtics. So he could have been an assistant coach in the league right now, and the Lakers hypothetically would be hiring a current assistant coach for the head coaching job. I don't think we'd be as critical with JJ if that was the case, but nevertheless, the reality is he wasn't hired, and the reality is he doesn't have much experience going into this job. And from all the reports I did see, I am a little bit more optimistic in terms of the Lakers are talking about him being a long-term solution for the Lakers and not just, all right, this is our coach to get LeBron his fifth ring. So, they're looking for their Eric Spoelstra, their Pat Riley, their Joe Mazzulla, and they think JJ is that guy. But nah, if I'm the Lakers, if I'm Lakers fans, all I hope is JJ doesn't get fired in two to 3 years, because I don't think that would be unfair to him. I ironically would actually like the Pistons job for JJ if he really wanted to get into head coaching right away. But nah, he definitely jumped the line. I think he has the knowledge for it, but I think being a head coach in the NBA, especially for the Lakers, is more than just knowing your X's and O's. It's about managing egos, building connections with your players, and all that shit. And JJ just doesn't have experience on that. Who knows what his rotations are going to look like, timeout management, all of these things that happen on the fly. He just doesn't have enough experience on that matter. He might have the philosophy nailed down, but those little things are going to add up for this team if they're going to try to get a championship next season. So,
I guess scapegoated.
I believe this is from 2022, where I'm reading this from. Jeff Saturday gets hired as the interim head coach for the Indianapolis Colts.
Remember Jeff. Yep.
Jeff Saturday is the first head coach to be hired to the NFL with no college or professional coaching experience since Norm Van Brocklin of the Minnesota Vikings in 1961.
Oh, man.
This is something that is unique to the NBA. And I could look up baseball, and I could look up hockey, and I could look up college and all this. I could look up all these things. It is a unique experience for the NBA to hire people with no prior coaching experience to be the head coach. Yeah, not a forced upon assistant, not on the video staff, not as a consultant, shooting coach, player development guy. Because Dallas, if you look at Dallas's, I'm talking about the Mavericks. If you look at the Dallas Mavericks coaching staff, they have a lot of player development guys, right? Mm-hmm. Who are old players. Like Dudley was on there, Michael Finley was on there, Shammgod is on the team, Tyson Chandler, Darryl Armstrong is on there. I'm looking at it right now. There's a lot of people like that. But they're getting experience, which I think is better than just thrusting them in there. I want to read this other thing. This is from Los Angeles Times. Look at how former NBA players before JJ Redick fared when they became first-time head coaches without any previous experience. Does not include player coaches. Steve Nash in Brooklyn, 101-76 record. Derek Fisher in New York, a 40-96 record. Steve Nash in Golden State, 618, 314, or 315. Jason Kidd in Brooklyn, 49-47. Mark Jackson, Golden State, 130, 199, or 119. Vinny Del Negro in Chicago, 86-90. Isaiah Thomas in Indiana, 136, 125. Doc Rivers in Orlando, 176, 178. Hey, they should have let him get 2 more games to see if he could get at 500. Larry Bird, Indiana, 190 or 179, 87. Which is I don't know if y'all know the story about that, but no, that's the wrong team. My bad. I'm thinking of the wrong thing. ML Carr in Boston, 48, 116. Quinn Buckner, Dallas, 1369. Magic Johnson for the Lakers, 5-11. Dan Issel for Denver, 106, 108. Dick Van Ardsdale, 14-12, and Paul Silas for the Clippers in 1980, 78, 168. It's just too much evidence that this is not a good idea.
So the best case was Larry Bird Because I think he coached those finals teams, right, in the early 2000s.
Yeah, Larry Bird. What's his name? Steve Kerr. But Steve Kerr had some front office experience, so they didn't count that in there.
Yeah. Hey, we've been saying it's not a good idea on the spot for a minute now. Though I think the only guy optimistic on it was Damo, which, by the way, shout out to Damo. I hope you get better soon. But I don't know.
Yeah, man. I mean, I thought you were gonna go a different route when you brought up Jeff Saturday, because what's funny about Jeff Saturday, ladies and gentlemen, is he's often viewed as one of the worst hires in NFL history, like right now. For those that don't watch the NFL, the Colts aren't exactly the best team. They're nothing to brag about. They have a couple of star players over there during this season, but he gets hired halfway through, I want to say, and he wins his first game against Oakland, another really bad poverty franchise. He then proceeds to go 0-7. And I'm talking close 1-point losses to literally getting 60 dropped on him. Jeff Saturday was not by any stretch a good coach. I don't think JJ Redick will be that bad. Hell, he's on a better roster, so I don't think he will have that one-to-one correlation of success. But my God, it's just such a scary thing for this team to do, yet it's the hype beastie thing for this team to do. I'm just tired of the pattern. I'm gonna hit y'all with some Lakers trauma dump, bro. 2020, our championship year, the narrative prior to actually winning was getting a third star. That narrative was so strong. We then say fuck depth, get 2 6-man of the year guys, and then the following year double down and get Russell Westbrook. Bro, like I'm just tired of seeing this team just continue this cycle, bro. And then we damn near quadruple down with the whole Austin Reeves shit, even though Austin Reeves is a hell of a player. It's, man, so fucking annoying. And anybody that's saying I don't know trauma, go fuck yourself, because I'm telling you, the most frustrating thing in like sports fandom to me is seeing a team shoot itself in the foot. And that's all the Lakers do. I think Bezos can relate to that. Just seeing a team just literally go, oh man, we can win a chip. Bow. Why, bro? Like, why? It's just so fucking annoying.
I think a bunch of teams that are looking for new head coaches, they are looking for like younger coaches, especially with the recent success of the Celtics. I think the Thunder also have a young coach, from my understanding. They're really trying to phase out the Doc Rivers era of coaching. My only thing is if the Lakers hire JJ because he's the only one with essentially a public resume of knowing how to use analytics, like that's a bad reason to hire someone, in my opinion, because there's probably a bunch of assistant coaches in the league that also use analytics to their coaching philosophy. You just don't know them because they don't have a fucking podcast. Because like y'all, I didn't know who Joe Mazzulla was 2 years ago, but now here he is. So,
and I'm probably gonna be reiterating some of the stuff you said. I want to know what was the thing that got JJ Redick hired. Is it because he appears to have, and I'm not discrediting JJ. I think, again, I listened to his podcast, been listening to his podcast for this, so it's not like I don't think that he doesn't know the game of basketball. But what was the thing? Was it his ability to articulate the X's and O's? If I had one question, that's the only thing I would have to ask. I just think it's just so weird. I don't, and it's crazy because it's only head coach. I don't know any other position in the NBA where you can get it with no prior experience. Fuck it, let's just give them the GM keys too. I don't understand why they don't do that. What? And I'm serious. Why don't we just jump
They're
to
gonna keep it in the family there, so that's not gonna happen.
GM? The other weird thing that they do, the NBA does do the player president of basketball coach president of basketball operations, or coach GM stuff too, and that's always bad too. These are separate jobs. Yeah, these are huge jobs. I do want to talk about, because there's other teams making bad coaching decisions.
Monty Williams,
yeah. So the Pistons let go of Montavious P. Williams. They signed him to huge deal. In the recent terms. what was it? Hired by the Detroit Pistons, 6 years, $78.5 million, the largest coaching contract in the NBA history at that time. That was last June. Pistons fire this June. Lakers didn't even sniff in that direction. One, but two, do y'all have thoughts? I definitely have thoughts about this that firing.
Yeah, I do. One, think Monty Williams. I can understand why he got fired, because if you think the team checked out, he's checked out, and considering the streak, if you need a change, fine. Me personally, though, I think it's dumb. I don't think the ends justify the means. I think that getting rid of Monty Williams instead of taking a self-evaluation in terms of management and or the players is kind of ridiculous. And I'd even go as far as to say that, hey, man, Pistons fans went from, and Kofi, shout out to Kofi for on that podcast, because he would know more than me even. Pistons fans went from, yo, you're not trying anything, to you've tried everything. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, I mean, damn, the roster ain't good. We laughed about Killian Hayes' performance the whole time, and I've always had the concept that these players, they can be good talents, great talents. If Damo was here, he'd have a fit. But me personally, I don't think that these players are like with each other. I think that half of these players on a different team probably look damn good. I don't think it's a team that plays well together, though. So I think this was just one of them firings that they did for Zibes, for personality, to try to appear to look good, and they ended up looking stupid, because it is not. That Monty's a good coach. I will, if that's a hot take to some of you, go for it. Monty Williams is a good, if not great, coach, and that's a troll firing.
Yeah, pride, professionalism aside, though, if I'm Monty, damn, 5 years, 60 million. Now I gotta.
Oh yeah, I forgot to mention. Yeah, and they're gonna eat the cap. Are they just? And that's the worst part. Are they just gonna eat the cap?
I think Milwaukee's doing the same thing with Mike Budenholzer and Doc Rivers. Like there's not Doc Rivers, Adrian Griffin. I think they're still paying those two coaches. But in terms of Monty, man, ironically, if you talk to a lot of Pistons fans, they're not too mad about this firing, because they legitimately think Monty's that bad of a coach. Same thing with JB Bickerstaff and Cavs fans, apparently. Like people weren't a fan of him. But I think with this Pistons squad, was last season his first season as a coach?
Yeah, his only season as the coach.
Yeah, nah, that's too soon, bro. That's way too soon. I don't even think you gave him a fair shake.
There we go.
The shake, he didn't really get it, bro. I think
yeah, shake that more. You didn't even give it a fair one. Come on now, shake it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, now you can.
Is there anything in there?
Now you can try it. Now you can try it.
I can drink.
No, I just think I'm glad though the conversation is shifting a little bit more towards like, yo, let's look at these front offices, because I truly do think they set the tone for a lot of these franchises. We always like to look at the head coach. We always like to look at the players. First it was the players, then it was the head coach. But now we got to give more credit and more blame to these front offices. These front offices are done, bro. A coach can only work with what he's given with. You know what I'm saying? He can have the game plan in mind, but if players aren't executing it, or if he just doesn't have the personnel to execute said game plan, then what the fuck do you want him to do?